it's Christine. I have a mess on my desk, but that's okay because I've been doing some planning. So today is day 9 of 30 Days of Sketches with Christy's Beautiful Life. And hopefully you can see this, there's not too much glare. This sketch is by Sarah Davies. She does have a YouTube channel, so make sure you check that out. I'm sure she'll be in the playlist. And what we have is, of course, a 12 by 12 with a bunch of like strips in the middle. And then there's a couple of circular elements. Then there's some embellishment cluster here in the middle, on the side. Then there's a couple of photos. And then, pointy thingies. Okay? Now, as I've been mentioning, I'm trying to get through Hip Kit clubs and scrap room clubs. I've got so much stuff. So this is my November 2022. And I picked it because I have these 2 pictures here. This is from this DC trip, Christmas DC trip. And this was the National Christmas Tree. And I got this picture and I have this picture. So I've got 2 photos to work with. For some reason, my selfie printed this side differently than this side. I don't know, something's wonky with it. But I'm going to make it work, so it's okay. And then I have pulled out, I think this is 3-inch punch here. And then this might be 2.5. I've got these 2 because I think that's going to be the big circle and the small circle. And then I've got this kit. I pick it also because there's all these little strips here. So I think I can make these work. And I do, my background is going to be this black and white polka dot because it's in there and I need to use it. And I think it's going to be cool enough. It's going to be subtle enough that I can work with it here. And then the other thing I'm thinking I'm going to do is fussy cut some of these ornaments and stuff for the cluster. That's what I'm thinking I'm going to do because I don't dislike this side, but it's not something I'm just in love with. So and I thought, you know what? I never fussy cut hardly. So I'm going to fussy cut these little guys and that's going to be clusters. So I think the circle, this right here, I think is about 3 inches across. I think I can make one of these guys be the circle and that's going to look kind of cool. And then the other one's probably going to be something out of a piece of scrap. So that is, oh, and I still have ephemera and chipboard and stickers. Oh, the other thing I did do, so this particular month actually came with a silver font, this guy. But I don't think I'm in enough letters because I want to put National Christmas Tree. And this one has, I think, a few more letters. I'm hopeful. It's got little ones and big ones. So I'm thinking that'll work. And there's these little star elements here. So I think I can use these. And of course, they do kind of go together. Hip Kit's awesome with the whole colorway stuff. So let me get started. I need to get my circles punched out real quick. Get my photos trimmed and matted. And I got to figure out my little situation with my strips here. I got to like line those up. So give me just a second. I'll be right back on.
You guys, I messed up and I'm so sorry. I did not film the end of my layout really. I'll tell you in just a minute. Basically what I'm doing right here is I'm trying to figure out this layered strip thing. And I was being a little bit, I don't know why I was doing this. I was being a little bit stingy because I have that, you see the little, what would that be called? Like an X looking, the paper I'm messing with right now. I had that big long strip to the left of me, but I decided I needed to hang on to that. And so I took the shorter strip and cut it. And so now I'm going to have to kind of piecemeal these pieces together here to make it look right. And why I just didn't use that longer piece is beyond me, except I was being a little bit, like I said, kind of stingy. And because I still have plenty of paper from this kit, so who knows what I'm trying to do. And I don't need to keep hoarding it because I got too much to work with as it is. So anyway, I'm kind of just trying to figure this out. I'm going to end up using double-sided tape to kind of start holding these pieces together because they're not laying and staying because they're kind of skinny, and I bump them and all that kind of stuff. And I looked at the sketch and I was like, okay, how many of these little strips do I really have? Because I had a whole bunch pulled out and it's really only 4 patterns. I mean, honestly, you could, obviously as a sketch, it's inspirational. You could have however many you want to, but when I looked at this sketch, I go, okay, to me, this is 4 patterns. So that's what I'm working with right here is trying to get these 4 patterns. I've got that red and pink, like star looking thing or, whatever that's called. And then I have the little cable knit pattern. And then I have this black and white diagonal. And then over the top of all this in just a second, I'm going to lay this pink and white plaid looking color. And I do like the combination of everything. I think it looks great. The other thing I'm going to end up having to do is it's way too long right now because I have to end up trimming some of the bottom pieces down there. But I'm just trying to get this top section kind of built because once that's built, the layers are set, right? So I'm just kind of messing with this and using my double-sided tape. And again, I'm going to have to apologize, guys, because this is most of the video. I get this built and I kind of, I glue stuff down and then I get to the point where I go, okay, I need to fussy cut this paper over here that I mentioned, right? I'm going to cut out a couple of these ornaments. So I turn the camera off to do that and then I get done and I just never think to turn it back on until basically I go to journaling. So please don't Please don't hate on me, I guess. I mean, it's the first time I think I've ever done that, to be honest. In all this time, I can't believe I've never done it before because it could certainly be easy to do. And yeah, I sure as crap did. I just started cutting those little ornaments out of there, and I just start laying stuff down and boobity boobity boo, and there we are. That being said, thankfully, I mean, it didn't really take me that much time to get stuff laid down. I end up just, well, you'll see. I slowed down to real time when I'm doing the journaling because it shows you the full layout, and I can kind of talk you through it real quick. But this is the part that took me a while anyways, was just figuring out how do I lay this stuff down here. Now, I will tell you the other thing. So you see that green circle that I mentioned to you, I was going to use my like 3-inch punch to punch out. That worked fine, and you can see the circle real nicely. But I will tell you it's not as big as on the sketch. And even my other one on the lower right is not as big as on the sketch. So I end up kind of, this is definitely inspired by the sketch, but I'm deviating a bit because also she had little arrows kind of pointing, in on each, the top and bottom, and I don't have that at all. And I end up with embellishment clusters that kind of grew, so yeah, this is a sketch inspired, not necessarily a sketch lift, I guess, if you want to call it that. So now I'm just going to put my double-sided tape on the back of this thing. I'm just kind of holding all these little pieces and parts together at this point, and I'm going to flip it over. Then I'll end up, have I snipped off the bottom yet, y'all? I don't know. I got distracted because I was thinking about the fact that I forgot to video the last half of my layout. I did go ahead and mount the photos, though. I don't think I mentioned this. I had some packaging from a different Hip Kit Club, and it had like a little bit, it was white with a little light gray kind of diagonal strap on it. So I used that to mount the photo, and then I used a black cardstock to double mat it. And I really like that because that black does separate it from the black and white polka dot. Now here's where I realized one of those pieces looks a tad off to me, but I realized at that point it doesn't really matter because I'm going to end up covering it up anyway. And so then I'm not mess with it. All right, so here's when I'm kind of organizing the photos, and I'll play around with this for just a minute. And because I'm looking at that circle, realizing it's smaller than what the sketch shows, I'm thinking, okay, well, what am I going to do with that? My cat is crying, y'all, because she went out one door. I've mentioned this before. My house is kind of a circle. She can go out one door and come in and make a circle, and she'll go out the door that's open, but if I have the other one closed, she'll come up to it and cry like she can't get in. I'm like, if you'll just go back the way you came, you'll be able to get in. So if you hear her crying, I promise she's fine. She just wants in, and she won't go back the door she came out. Okay, so anyway, I'm just kind of organizing myself, putting these pictures down. I didn't put either picture up on foam. I thought about doing the tree, but I'm going to end up layering over the top of it some of my little fussy cut ornament things. So I don't put the pictures up on foam. So the cool part about this, this is the National Christmas Tree. We were in DC, and the cool part is there's all these ornaments that I believe they're made from children all over the country. Now, how they get selected, I'm not certain. I'm kind of guessing they go to a school or do something like that. But they're all these cute little like kid ornaments, or they look handmade by children. Oh, the other thing I did do too is I did ink the edges of the, well, I guess I did the circles, and then I did the outside, this black and white polka dot with this frosted berry dioxide. What is that? Y'all, I've done forgot the word for that. Oxide. You know what I'm saying. That ink. It's the frosted berry. And I did the circles and I did the outside. I did not think to do the strips of paper, y'all. So I messed up. Here's where I screwed up, y'all. That's where I went, I got to cut this. So you can see now, here's where I slowed this down real time so I can tell you. So I've got the title became National Christmas Tree. I did use that font. Really love that. I have little stars from the little puffy font, kind of in my mind where the arrows would have been. And then there's the fussy cut ornaments on the right-hand side there. And then I did pull out Happy Christmas and Merry and Bright and put that on there. And then I put a little stocking up there. You can see that. And again, y'all, I am so sorry I didn't film me putting all that stuff down there. But hopefully you can kind of get the idea what happened. With 30 videos, you're probably going to run out of time anyway this month. So hopefully this one's only about 9 minutes. So come back tomorrow. I promise to film the whole thing. We'll see you then. Bye-bye.